SMS marketing is one of the most misunderstood forms of marketing when it comes to tools that you can use within Klaviyo. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how we use SMS for our clients to both ensure that you get the most out of the medium, which is SMS, but also to make sure you pay the least, because let's face it, SMS marketing is considerably more expensive than email marketing. My name's Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is literally all I do. So if you have any questions, chuck them in the comment section down below. Check out the channel. There's a bunch of cool videos just like this. I release 2 every single week, and definitely check out the newsletter in the description of this video down below as well. I release 2 newsletters every single week as well. Super valuable information. And smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's watch the rest of the video. Come on. Okay, so SMS and Klaviyo, and also a little bit of Shopify stuff here. First thing we're actually going to talk about is we're not even going to talk about SMS messages. We're going to talk about the way that you want to capture people's SMS subscription. I see so many people do this, where they have their sign-up form, their pop-up form show up, and they either ask for SMS at the same stage as the email address, or they have it as a second step in their sign-up form. So they'll be like, hey, what's your email address? Enter, they press enter. The second step takes them to give them the, ask for the SMS consent. Do not do that. Absolutely don't do that. The reason being, because when you have an SMS field here, even if you add it as a second step, right? Even if you give an option for someone to skip it, you're gonna see a massive drop-off rate in the amount of people who complete the sequence of sign-up forms. How many people go from step 1 to step 3 if you're asking for SMS, okay? When they see the SMS field, most people, you're gonna see anywhere, well not most, but 25 to 45% of people are gonna close the form, meaning they're not going to see the final step of the sign-up form. The final step of the sign-up form or the pop-up form should display the offer that you're offering them right here. So when you ask somebody for their email address and you say, hey, get 10% off, the 10% off code should be in the final step of the form. Because what that does is it allows you to increase the on-site conversion rates. Because you don't want to force somebody to leave your website, right? Be like, hey, yo, check your inbox for your discount code. That's silly. Don't do that. Because you're forcing them off your website to go into their inbox to get distracted to then give you money. Make it as easy as possible for someone to give you money by giving them the code that you want them to use on the form directly. Don't make them leave your site and increase your site bounce rate. Don't do that. Keep them on your site at all costs. Then, if you ask for SMS as a second step, you're going to get a massive increase in the amount of people who do not complete the form, meaning they do not see this final step. Which means by adding SMS as a second step, what you're doing is essentially saying, I care more about the SMS subscription than I do about the on-site conversion rate, which is a terrible way to run your business. Do not do that. So instead of having SMS asked for in the first form and the second step of the first form, have it go completely separate to this first form. Capture email, show them the discount code, have a separate form that shows up later that then asks people for their SMS consent. That way you are not compromising the on-site conversion rates to get SMS. Doesn't make any sense, right? So have a separate form where you can say, hey, you want this form to show up after 45 seconds or 8 seconds, right? And you want it to show to existing profiles, right? But make sure those existing profiles have not opted in for SMS marketing. I like to make my forms a flyout that show up after 45 seconds, targeting people who have not subscribed for SMS marketing. You can create a segment of those people saying, hey, this is for people who have not subscribed so it's like subscribe for your email marketing, but not for SMS marketing. That way you're only showing this form to people who are already opted in. Yes, it's going to decrease the rate of your SMS list growth, but not at the expense of actual revenue. Okay, so make sure the way that you're capturing people's SMS consent is with best business practice in mind rather than best email SMS practice in mind. So what I like to do is have a separate form. You can have an offer within that form that says, hey, sign up, get 10% off your next purchase, right? And then have it show for SMS specifically, okay? that's how you capture SMS separately. And you can kind of see it here, right? See here? This is an example of a form. It's just, hey, want text updates. You can show it, or you can even say, after 15 seconds, we've given some random conditions. You actually have access to this form, by the way, in the description of this video, so check that out. So that's how you want to capture SMS. Now, with SMS marketing, there are 3 types of messages that predictably generate revenue from a campaign perspective: product release, product restock, and sales. Everything else you don't want to use SMS for. SMS is expensive regardless of where you are. If you're in the US, it's cheaper than say New Zealand, Australia, Canada, UK, but it is expensive and you want to make sure you're using it wisely. The only time I send SMS campaigns is when we have sale emails, product releases, or product restocks. That's the only time you really want to be doing SMS marketing from a campaign perspective. Now, I know there's platforms out there like Attentive, right, that say, hey, do a lot of campaigns, ready, rah. The reality is there's not actually a massive uplift in revenue if you're doing SMS campaigns outside of those 3 types of messages. Now, the flows. This is where things can get a little interesting. Let me show you some examples of how we're building out automations with SMS in mind, using our sign-up form strategy, by the way. So, first thing you got to remember, we're capturing SMS at a different stage in the customer journey to when they should go through a welcome series. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a separate SMS welcome series. Let me run you through what this looks like. We're going to go into the flows section within Klaviyo. You're going to go create flow, build your own, call it test in this case, and you're going to trigger the flow off of somebody. Go all triggers, metric, subscribed to SMS marketing. All triggers, metric, subscribe to SMS marketing. You're going to hit save, confirm. So now the moment somebody subscribes to SMS marketing, they're going to trigger this automation. Now, you can, if you're doing like an offer in your SMS, right, you'll want to give them that offer. But let's assume somebody is in email marketing, has placed an order, okay, and they are subscribed for SMS marketing. They should get one offer that should be different from people who subscribe for email and SMS, because if you're doing offers, probably 2 separate offers for those things. So let's assume you have a 10% off for your email and you have 10% off for SMS. If somebody subscribes to email and SMS, they should get a 20% off discount code because it's 2 separate incentives together. That's why personally, I don't really do incentives a lot of the time for SMS marketing. You can, or you can just say, hey, the discounts don't stack if you don't want to give away, for example, 20%. Let's assume you do want to stack your discounts. I'm going to show you both routes here. You're going to say what somebody has or has not done, placed order, in this case we're using WooCommerce, 0 times, overall time, save. So, if they subscribe for email, and if they subscribe for SMS and you want to stack the discounts, you're going to give them an SMS message here. That's going to have the stacked discount. The stacked discount. Then what you're going to do, on the right-hand side, if they place an order more than once, you're going to give them, or rather more than 0 times, because look at on the right-hand side, you give them the non-stacked discount. So instead of it being like SMS 10, or rather SMS 20 over here for 20% off because it's stacked, you give them SMS 10, right? If that makes sense. Sorry, I made this a time delay. This should be a SMS message, okay? Now, really quickly, you're going to notice here that you have all these little settings here. Turn off smart sending, enable UTM tracking, and enable SMS quiet hours. Now, you should, in your sign-up form, at this stage here, have the discount code in the second step. Because remember what I said over here. Do not force somebody off of your website to use the discount code. So have it here, because they should have the discount code, even if they subscribe during quiet hours, which basically means they can't receive an SMS message during certain hours of the day, okay? And you can set up what you want your quiet hours to be. As you can see here, its default is 8 p.m. to 11 a.m., okay? So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit whatever, save, okay? And then, personally, depending on how aggressive you wanna be with your messages, I'm not really gonna add any more than 3 SMS messages here throughout the duration of this flow. Basically, these SMS messages are just reiterating those discount codes that you've just promised them, right? Nothing more. 3. You're not really going to be doing any educating in these messages. Honestly, all you're going to be saying is, hey, here's your discount code, click here to use it. Because you want to keep your message under 160 characters to reduce your Klaviyo bill. Because Klaviyo charges on credits because they're sneaky, and you don't want to be paying more credits for one message. So try and keep your character count under 160 characters for each of these. And you're just reiterating the code, right? Like, hey, last chance. I mean, you can't legally say that the coupon code's expiring if it's not. So make sure if you are saying things like, hey, last chance, or anything like that, that's true. That's factually true. Otherwise, it's fraud. So as you can see here, we have the 3-part flow. I'm going to set these out like 3 days from one another. 3 days, 3 days. So in that case, somebody's going to get roughly 3 messages in about a week, right? Also, since the purpose of the welcome series is really to get that first conversion across the line, you're going to add the filter, what somebody has or has not done, placed order 0 times since starting this flow. Because what that's going to do is it's going to kick people out of the automation if they order while being in it. Okay, so that's the whole point of this here. This is super basic, but this is not. You don't need anything complex. Attentive is gonna tools like Attentive are gonna tell you that your attributed revenue is massive through SMS. It's not. You're getting double attribution from Klaviyo and Attentive, and the sign-up forms are claiming revenue. It's all trash. Okay, don't believe it. This personally, I like to have SMS and email all under one roof, because it makes managing the tools a lot easier. You don't have to jump from platform to platform and all that stuff. Also, Attentive's a little finicky with the sign-up forms and how they pass data back and forth. Personally, they make it deliberately difficult and slower for subscriptions to come from Klaviyo into Attentive, because they want Attentive you to use their forms. So they'll quickly pass data from Attentive to Klaviyo, instantaneously, but when it goes to Klaviyo to Attentive, they make it slower so that your preference is to use their forms over Klaviyo's forms. That's my conspiracy theory, at least. So you're just going to go ahead and configure that, 3 days, and just pop your messages in there. You'll see these things here, UTM tracking, keep that on, quiet hours, keep it on. You could even just be like, hey, quiet hours, delay these messages till 11 a.m. These follow-up messages till 11 a.m. to make sure that you're sending recipients local time, by the way. I'll show you how to do that. So delay, 3 days, specific time of the day, 11 a.m. Let's just do 11:01 a.m. because now you know that this message is going to be sent to them outside of quiet, or outside of quiet hours. The follow-ups, that is. Don't put a time delay above here, because you want this message to go instantaneously if it's within or outside of the quiet hours, right? The follow-ups, though, you do want to have these delays to make sure you're within the quiet hours time frame, right? So that's what you're going to do here for the welcome series, okay? Nice and easy, all makes sense. Any questions, put them in the comment section down below. And there's a couple other flows that you can build. Abandon cart, browse abandon checkout, and I like to do little order update flows. So let me show you quickly what that looks like, okay? Personally, for an abandoned cart, let's just do this. Build your own. I'm going to call this test 2. From an SMS perspective, I like to build the SMS sequences into the email sequences so you can actually see the attributed revenue within the Klaviyo dashboard for one flow. But for the sake of ease of use here, I'm just going to show you really quickly how I'd build it if I was building it as a separate automation. So we're going to go checkout started. This is going to make it an abandoned checkout. And we're going to say profile filters. What somebody has, if someone can receive SMS marketing. So this becomes an SMS flow because we've added the filter. They can receive SMS marketing. And what somebody has or has not done. Placed order. 0 times. Overall time. And placed order 0 times. 0 times since starting this flow. Now I like to send people down different paths based off of their purchase history. First thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to add a 30-minute time delay. Okay? Generic time, just for illustrative purposes. You can experiment, A/B test the times. 30-minute time delay. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to do what somebody has or has not done. Placed an order 0 times overall time. Okay. What this means is that we know if they've placed an order 0 times overall time, we should be giving them an SMS message with the dynamic return to checkout link in it, but we should also be giving them the discount code from the sign up form. Remember? Now, if we're stacking discount codes, it would be 20% off. If we're not, it would be 10% off. Okay? So what we can do here is we can say, okay, we know this person's placed an order 0 times overall time. Therefore, we know they haven't used their welcome series offer, or they haven't used their SMS welcome series offer, meaning they either have the stack discount or the non-stack discount, right? So 10 or 20% off. So what we do here is we remind them, and then we say, hey, here's your discount code. We want to get that discount code in front of them at every single touch point that we can, because we're trying to maximize the amount of product we're getting into our customers' hands. That is done by reiterating the offer at every single stage of the customer journey. So then we go time delay. Then we go 5 days. Bing. 5 days as an example. I mean, God, you could probably do 2 days, to be honest. Experiment with this. I'm doing generic examples here because I want to illustrate how I build these flows. Clone, follow-up reminder. Keep in mind, this is why I like to build it within the existing email flows, because you can then figure out where the emails are going to come in relation to the SMS messages. But just keep in mind of like what emails are also going out, because you can stack them on top of each other. But for this sake, we're just not going to do that. We're going to go bing. And on this side here, if they've placed an order before, we know that they probably shouldn't be getting a discount code, right? We probably shouldn't be reiterating an offer to them unless it's an unstacked, like that 10%, right? And then we can filter it by people who have used XYZ coupon code or something like that, right? But here we go. So you got 30-minute delay. Non-customers get the biggest discount because we're maximizing product in hand. Remember our smart hours thing? 2 days, delay until a specific time of day. Boom, 11:01 a.m. Let's go a.m. Recipient's local time. Initial reminder with discount. Follow-up reminder 2 days later with discount. And this is only going to be filtering, or rather sending to people, since the start of checkout, who have subscribed to SMS marketing and placed an order 0 times since starting this flow. You can also do a follow-up reminder here for the customer side. Okay? This side here probably won't have a discount because they've already placed an order before. Yeah, that's how you do it. Then you have a browse abandon. Browse abandon is triggered off of somebody viewing an item. Let me quickly show you this. So we'll go create flow. Build your own. Proceed with caution on the browse, okay? Because browse is a very light touch in terms of what it takes for somebody who subscribed to SMS marketing to trigger the automation. So we're going to say viewed product, because that's the trigger for the browse. Save, confirm and save. Okay. We're going to add profile filters. We're going to say if someone can receive SMS marketing, and what somebody has or has not done, placed an order 0 times since starting this flow. And remember here, we also have our abandoned checkout flow. So we want to make sure that this flow doesn't overlap with the abandoned checkout. So then we add the condition, what somebody has or has not done, started checkout. Where is it? We want the WooCommerce one, started checkout 0 times since starting this flow. What that means is if somebody starts checkout during this flow, it'll trigger the abandoned checkout flow, right? And we don't want to have double up messaging. So we go save, we go 30-minute time delay. Personally, this is just me, I only like to have, so customer side on the right, non-customer side on the left with that discount code. Personally, Bing, SMS, SMS2, I only like to have one SMS message come out because it's such a light touch sequence that I don't want to have like a massive sequence triggered off of somebody just viewing an item, as that's going to spike up the unsubscribe rates. Also, since this flow is such a light touch flow, I also restrict by adding the filters here. If someone has been in this flow, has not been in this flow in the last, I'm going to say 21 days. That means they can't go through this flow more than once in 21-day period. I'm going to change this to a 30-minute time delay. Once again, experiment with this. What somebody has or has not done. Placed order 0 times. Overall time. Yes, no. All right, that's how you do the browse abandon. Then you do the same thing that we did for the abandoned checkout, for the abandoned cart. You can literally just clone that flow, by the way, and I'll show you, just because I want to be thorough here. I'm a man of my word. Just go test 2. You can go up here. Actually, pardon me. Go back to your flows. Since you've already built the abandoned checkout, you can just clone it into an abandoned cart. Clone, test 4. See this trigger? You can change the trigger. Added to cart. Now it's an abandoned cart flow all of a sudden. However, there is one thing we need to do. I'm going to go back into test 4. This is the abandoned cart flow, and we want to make sure there's no overlap between this and the abandoned checkout. What somebody has or has not done. Started checkout 0 times since starting this flow to prevent any overlap and crossover. Those are the 4 flows that I'd recommend building. Browse abandon, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, welcome series, and then also order updates, which is basically different stages in the delivery process for your product. So if we go into metrics, for example, we can see delivered, shipped. See, we can see here, this is a third-party integration, but most Shopify integrations will have like statuses, right? Order shipped, order is waiting shipped, fulfilled order. So we can provide status updates for customers based off of where their order is. And these actually are not very invasive and get great deliverability and get good engagement and are a great way to bring somebody back onto your website. So if we did, for example, a fulfilled order flow, we would say something like this. We'd go flows, create flow, build your own. We're going to call this test 5, create manually. Okay. And then what we'll do here is we'll go your metrics. So we have ShipStation here. In some cases it might be Shopify, but we're going to use the ShipStation metric, and we're going to say order shipped. Confirm and set. So the moment the order has been shipped, we can then send the customer a notification saying your order has been shipped. Track it here. Provide them with the dynamic link. Cool thing you can do here is you can apply for transactional status. When you apply for transactional status, the message is treated with higher priority and is less likely to be filtered out by any SMS characters and marked as spam, which helps you get that message in front of somebody. And if you have a link, it can then get you your subscribers back onto your website, which is then another opportunity to get them to convert or anything like that. Enable UTM tracking, remove all of these nasty little filters, and you can actually disable quiet hours because you're not marketing to these people. You're providing them an update on their order. So remove enable quiet hours, hit save, write your message, and then go ahead and hit apply for transactional status after the message is written and live. And you can then make sure that your email, or rather SMS message, is treated with higher priority. Guys, and honestly, I would just do that for every single stage in the order process, right? And obviously you want to add filters, profile filters, if someone can receive SMS marketing. Bingo. There you go. That's how you do it. Also, another cool thing is you can also insert blocks into every single one of your emails that push people to subscribe for SMS. Take them to, for example, a dedicated landing page where you just have an SMS embed form on there. Show you how to quickly do that. You can just basically send emails with a block that says, hey, subscribe for SMS updates, right? And then you can drive them to a specific landing page, kind of like my landing page here. If I go onto this one, newsletter, hopefully this shows up. Yeah, so this is for my newsletter, which you should subscribe to. And you can see here, you could just change this and be like, yeah, hey, subscribe for SMS updates. Look at me, I have more hair there. God, email marketing is stressful. But you get the idea, right? In every email, have a block that takes them to a landing page link where they can subscribe for SMS marketing, which would then trigger the SMS welcome series that we created previously. That's how you do SMS marketing. People overcomplicate it. People think it's way more important than it actually is and that it requires a whole lot of strategy. It does not. It's pretty simple. In fact, at the agency that I run, we don't even charge for SMS automations and flows because it's so easy to implement. And if that sounds like something you'd like a hand with, shoot me a message. The description of this video has my newsletter, has a bunch of cool free resources. Check all those out, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and honestly, any questions that you guys have, chuck them in the comment section down below. I will answer them. We're a small channel, I've got time, I have no problem answering your guys' questions. Thanks for watching, and you know what? We'll see you in the next video, 2 every single week.